Chris Berron on the piano. Nervous Chris Berron. We have two MJs on the stage. MJ meaning marijuana. And we got Miles Jensen on the guitar. Matt Johnson on the drums. This is the new JETSET.
What? Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome to Campus JAX. I'm Matt Johnson. We are the new JETSET. And as advertised, we are going to be swinging our way through the Disney Songbook tonight. Specifically, songs from Walt Disney's animated feature films. So, before we go any further, I feel I'm obligated to say that tonight's presentation is not associated with, affiliated with, and/or endorsed in any way by the Walt Disney Company. But that said, we still plan to do our best to bring some magic here tonight in the next 90 minutes. So we're going to continue with a tune about a very particular Disney villainess. I mean, she literally has evil in her name. Interestingly, there were two separate songs submitted to represent this character in the movie, and after they were both rejected, the composer, Mel Levin, felt that he was going to lose his gig. So in 45 minutes, he came up with an original idea. This became the hit of 1961's 101 Dalmatians. This is Cruella de Vil. Thank you very much. In case anybody's wondering, tonight on the piano is a man that's responsible for many of the original arrangements we're hearing tonight. That's Chris Barron. And on the guitar, the very swingin' Miles Jensen. Yay, swingin'. And on the bass, my brother in swing. He is the heartbeat of any band. What am? He's the lowest. That's David Miller. Yeah. This next song comes from a groundbreaking movie of firsts. It's the very first Pixar and Disney collaboration. It also happens to be the first full-length animated film that was 100% computer generated. From 1995's Toy Story, this is Randy Newman's You Got a Friend in Me. Thank you very much. The next two songs come from a movie that was hastily produced by the Walt Disney Company with the hopes of recouping losses from Pinocchio and Fantasia. And in order to accomplish that goal, they employed many cost-saving steps, including, for the first time since their very first animated classic, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, they chose to use watercolor backgrounds, which ironically gave this movie its lovable storybook look. At 64 minutes, it's the shortest of all animated features, and yet it won the Academy Award for Best Original Score in 1941. This is the first song of two from Dumbo. This is Casey Jr. Casey Jr. In one of the most tender moments in the movie Dumbo, Mr. Stork, voiced by Sterling Holloway, delivers a precious package to Mrs. Jumbo, at which point she sings what would become the best song in a motion picture for the year 1941. This is Baby Mine. Chris Barron. Chris Barron arrangement. Sadly, in 1965, this would be the last final animated film that Walt Disney would be able to approve for production himself personally. It wasn't released until 1970, but it was voiced by the longest list of character actors in the day. This is just a sampling, including Ava Gabor, Phil Harris, Sterling Holloway, Paul Winchell. Everybody remember Paul Winchell? Anybody remember Winchell Mahoney Hour? Anybody remember the password? Nobody remembers? My brother Sandy doesn't remember the password to Winchell Mahoney Hour? Scotty Waddy Doodah. Right? What's the password? Come on. Am I the only old person in here? All right. Hey, settle down. Scatman Crothers. Anybody remember him? He's even older. He voiced one of the lead characters, Scat Cat. And Thurl Ravenscroft. Right? If you don't know the name Thurl Ravenscroft, you would definitely recognize his voice as Tony the Tiger. That's exactly right. He also sang "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," except like 2 octaves lower. He was the bass vocalist in the famous singing Busts in Disneyland's Haunted Mansion. And for many, many years, the smart aleck over here wins the prize. He was the beloved voice of the world-famous Pageant of the Masters in Laguna Beach, right? Thurl Ravenscroft. This was the big hit from the Aristocats, 1970. This is Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Now, keep an ear out for the delicate feline soft shoe dance break that Chris arranged in the middle of this thing. Everybody wants to be a cat, yo. Miles Jensen. Miles Jensen is already a cat. Well, if you've seen any of us up here perform here before at JAX, more than likely it was in one band or another led by Tony Guerrero. Tony Guerrero has played an important role in establishing the Thursday night jazz here, along with Terence Love, Tim Ellis, Jack Jasper. But he continues to do yeoman's duty by regularly featuring other local and touring artists here at JAX. In fact, Terence mentioned next week he's going to be here with a whole host of others. And so we're going to honor that tradition tonight by inviting up a couple of friends, beginning with a guy who sets the high bar for showcasing other talent. Please welcome to the stage my pal, Tony Guerrero. He's making his way up here. I know he's wishing he could have played on that last one. Now, while he's getting prepared, I'm going to tell you, we talked about this song. This is a beautiful song. In fact, these next two songs, gorgeous ballads from 1950s Cinderella. But we're going to give this first one the It's a Small World treatment. You know what that is, Tony? No. Tony doesn't know, so I better explain it to him. The It's a Small World treatment. Everybody knows that attraction. The It's a Small World was one of 4 attractions that was produced by Walt Disney for the 1964 and 1965 World's Fair in New York, and then he brought it into the park and changed the world forever. You hop in the boat and you hear that memorable melody by the Sherman Brothers over and over and over again, right? But the cool thing about it is as you travel from land to land, the groove changes, the dance changes. So again, we're going to do this ballad, a very memorable ballad, but we're going to hop in the boat and slide down to Brazil and do A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes.
I thought you just meant it was going to be annoying.
Tony Guerrero on the flugelhorn. Tony's going to stay up with us, and we're going to continue with the Cinderella theme by adding one more individual to the stage. Now, she's actually appeared here before with her very own fine vintage jazz ensemble called Libby. Not Libby. I'm married to Libby. Hey, Lib. That was Freudian. Sorry, Lizzie. This is Lizzie and the Triggermen. Please welcome. Now, Lizzie Shapiro's on the stage already. But I was going to say something very nice about Lizzie. I've had the pleasure of working with her a few times. And when I told her we'd be doing a program of all Disney, she says, I want to be there and watch every single song. And I thought, good, because now I'm going to have you sing one, because I know she does this one in her show. She comes to the vintage jazz scene via the opera world, which is going to be apparent here in just for a second, but she also has many accomplishments as a writer, actress, and producer. No joke, Elizabeth Shapiro.
Give it up for Matt Johnson and the new JETSET. So this is love. So this is love. So this is what makes life divine. I'm all aglow, and now I know the key to all heaven is mine. My heart has wings, and I can fly. I'll touch every star in the sky. So this is a miracle that I am dreaming of. So this is love. So this is love. So this is love. So this is love. So this is what makes life divine. I'm all aglow, and I know the key to all heaven is mine. My heart has wings, and I can fly. I'll touch every star in the sky. So this is a miracle that I am dreaming of. So this is love. So this is love. So this is love. So this is love. So this is what makes life divine. I'm all aglow, and I know the key to all heaven is mine. Mine as wings, ooh, and I can fly away. I touch every star in the sky. So this is a miracle that I am dreaming of. So this is love. So this is
Lizzie Shapiro, everybody. Elizabeth Shapiro. Thank you, baby. Thanks for being with us. Check out Lizzie and the Trigger Men. Yeah, check out Lizzie and the Trigger Men. Search them on the interweb and keep an eye out here for not only the Trigger Men, but her other even cooler, more secret band, Lizzie and the Contraband. Clever names and swinging bands. Well, Tony's going to stay up here because apparently he has a 3-song minimum for every one of his performances. 4 songs. Well, we're going to have to figure something out. In the meantime, we're going to continue with this one. I cut it too early here. Yeah, here we go. This song's from a movie adapted from a book written in 1894 by Rudyard Kipling. Phil Harris shows up. Yeah, Phil Harris shows up again to voice the lovable Baloo, and Tony's going to play the part of King Louis's trumpet. That's right, old King Louis. In search of man's red fire. Let's see if Tony brings the fire, everybody. This is from the Jungle Book, I Want to Be Like You. Tony Guerrero. Tony Guerrero. Yeah. Tony's here on the regular, and we all owe him a debt of gratitude for keeping this Thursday night thing happening. Yeah, Tony's going to be back because I guess we have to. When asked the address of his home, Peter Pan pointed to the night sky and said, "Second star from the right, straight on till morning." And that was, of course, the directions to the magical land where kids never grow up. This is Chris Barron on Never Never Land. Chris Barron, holy smokes. Oh, I love that song. I love that song. You know, when we first started talking about this, we were saying, oh yeah, this tune, and yeah, that tune. Chris came over and we thought, before we rehearsed, maybe we'd figure out which tunes, and I said, I love that song, and we couldn't find an arrangement of it, and we just decided it would be a piano solo. Way to go, buddy. Let's nail that, Chris Barron. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Released in 1968 as a 25-minute featurette, this animated short was based on chapters from a book entitled The House at Pooh Corner by A.A. Milne. In 1977, it was added as a segment to a movie, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. A quick aside, the part of Christopher Robin was voiced by a young actor named John Walmsley. Now, you may not know his name, but many people in this room would recognize him because after this, he went on to appear as Jason Walton, the second oldest Walton, for 9 seasons in the beloved TV series The Waltons. And his musical talents took him to stages filled with the who's who of rock and country royalty. I actually had a chance to meet him. We were doing corporate gigs playing in an Afro-Cuban surf band, believe it or not. And I didn't know anything about his acting credits, which was cool because we just got to play music and hang out, and we became friends. He's since retired back to England, and to this day he continues to write music for movies and television. You check him out, John, Jon, WalmsleyMusic.com. So we're going to play this tune by the Sherman Brothers. It's the theme to Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. We began our show this evening with a song from Mary Poppins, if anybody can remember back that far. Now, Mary Poppins was not a full-length feature animated movie, but it did incorporate some of the most technically advanced and as well as memorable combinations of live action and animated scenes in movie history. It also went on to becoming Disney's highest grossing film of all time. We're going to do two tunes from Mary Poppins, but we're giving the first one the It's a Small World treatment. This time, we're going to hop in the boat. We're going to head down to New Orleans to the height of Mardi Gras. This is a spoonful of sugar, which David tells me down in New Orleans means something completely different. But anyway, a spoonful of sugar. I'm looking at the clock, and the evening is just flying by. So I was going to play a big extended drum solo on that one, but hey, you know, I'm reminded though, I think we're booked already to be back November 2nd. So if you guys like what we're hearing, and you promise to come back November 2nd, we'll have a whole new show for you guys. And thank you for that rousing round of apathy. Let's see. Hey, as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, that our show wasn't affiliated with the Walt Disney Productions, but or Walt Disney Company rather. But many people here know that I've been a Disney cast member since the late 70s. I've played in so many atmospheric jazz bands and pop bands and stage shows and shows band and countless special events in and around the resort. But we don't take playing this music lightly. I mean, this just isn't like nostalgic for us, like the way we all remember this music. I think this is actually a super important legacy, and I personally bear the responsibility of wanting to present it at the highest level we can, whether I'm out at the park or whether I'm here at JAX with you. And I think these guys on stage have done a great job in helping me achieve that tonight. In fact, this ensemble grew out of an opportunity that we had to do, an opportunity that we had to perform 4 special events for the company. There were 4 events that were spread out 2 weeks in between each one. And instead of performing just background jazz music, which we were really hired to do, we took it upon ourselves. We said, let's just do all Disney tunes, but we're just going to put our own kind of spin on it. And the gigs went great, and they came and went, and then we thought, well, we learned all this music, we should probably get out and play in public somewhere. So that's why we're here. We're glad you're enjoying yourselves. But I'll tell you a funny story that we did the first one. We weren't sure how the music was going to go over. Everybody loved it. And this one couple came and said, we love you guys so much. Do you know any Beatles tunes? I said, yeah, but, no. And we went on our break and we did it. 2 weeks later, same couple, no kidding, sitting in the very same spot. They came after, we love you so much. Do you guys know any Beatles songs? And in my head, I wanted to say, wow, read the room, man. We're like doing a Disney event. We're playing Disney songs. But I politely explained that isn't what we were performing tonight. We hope that he continued to have a magical evening. So by the 3rd event, and boy, they were there, we were prepared for them. Chris had this arrangement. It's also from Mary Poppins. It's this beautiful waltz, Feed the Birds. I don't know if it's a sad tune or it's a weird scene in the movie, but anyway, it's Feed the Birds. And in Chris's arrangement, he references another famous bird from the Beatles catalog. See if you can identify it. This is Feed the Bird. All right, we're winding down. This next arrangement is inspired by my friend Tom Kubis, who wrote the original mashup of these two songs for a band known as the Jazz Miners that he and I used to play with together out at Disneyland in the 1980s on the French Market stage. You jazz fans will recognize this iconic bass line from Benny Golson and Quincy Jones' Killer Joe. We're gonna mash it up with the song Hi Ho from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We call this Killer Ho. Now there's also a sing-along opportunity, so pay attention. Yeah. All right. You know, I mentioned earlier the whole rap about my background at Disney, and I'm so pleased and so heartened to see all my friends here from Disneyland today. If only I could introduce them all to you. This house is jam-packed with super talented people. I'm not going to mention their names because they'd want to come up and do 10 minutes each. But I love you all, and it's so great to have you here tonight. Let's bring Tony back up because apparently we have to fulfill his 4 minimum song condition clause. You in the house? Oh, great, he's still here. I know. Look at the time. We really are going to wrap it up here. It's been so wonderful, and I'm going to save my thank yous for later, but know that everybody on the stage is very grateful for this opportunity tonight. If you know anything about Tony and me, you know that we're fans of everything mid-century modern. We like the architecture. Look at Tony fixing his jacket. He loves the fashion. We love the music. In fact, if you look up post-big band lounge, Vegas lounge band, there's a picture of the Tony Guerrero quintet right there. So, but the thing I most love about mid-century America was that post-war optimism that we all shared. You know, that America's on the move and anything is possible if we work together kind of attitude that we all experienced. Growing up in Orange County, I didn't think of it then, but looking back, the one thing that really epitomized that optimism was Disneyland, right? I mean, it was so mid-America, Americana, and even though half the lands there reference our past, it's the sheer fact that there was one Tomorrowland and a promise for that great, big, beautiful tomorrow where there was a hope for the future, that's for sure. And so it's fitting that we wrap up our evening tonight with a song that was originally sung by Cliff Edwards, a.k.a. Ukulele Ike, who was a novelty balladeer, and we got one fan back there. He was a novelty balladeer and also the original voice of Jiminy Cricket. Yeah, that's right. And he sang this song in Pinocchio, and it went on to become synonymous with the Walt Disney Company, but also synonymous with Walt Disney's personal optimism for the future and his hopeful wish for people all over the world. So this is Miles Jensen who's going to get us started on this. Tony's going to wrap it up. And we've had a ball. We hope you have too. That's our show, everybody. We want to thank you for sharing our evening with us. We want to thank Terence Love. We want to thank all of our friends here at JAX. Tim Ellis, Jack Jasper, Lauren Kelly. That's Golden at the sound bar tonight, making everybody sound really great. John Wen and Tom Daniels are doing our live simulcast for everybody out on the interweb. Let's not forget our special guest, Tony Guerrero and Elizabeth Shapiro. The new JETSET, Chris Barron, Miles Jensen, David Miller. I'm Matt Johnson.
There's a great,
see you
big,
soon.
Tomorrow, shining at the end of every day.
Matt Johnson. Matt Johnson.